Something is going on. Obviously, it is super dirty. It's having trouble starting. This is the wife's car. The lady of the house needs to have her car taken care of before the toys are taken care of. So let's jump into that, you guys. Well, that'll do it too. This corrosion on the side is not good for it. But you can see this thing is super dated and dirty. I'm gonna see what year. They all have an expiration date, so I'm gonna, oh, there it is. Oh, 2018. So yeah, she's been in there for a while. What we need is 625 cranking amps. No, 625 cranking amps at 625. Cold cranking amps 500. Huh. Well, luckily we have just the right battery here off to the side. Would you look at that? I need to get new tools. They're not even that satisfying little click tools. Like, these things are gone. So I've been trying to get a whole new tool set. Let me know if you guys have some that you're super proud of. If we're being honest, I've never bought a tool set myself. Not that I'm cheap, but I always got some cheap ones for Christmas. And you don't need tons of tools to do basic jobs, even full builds actually. Some basic tools you'll need, I recommend one of these, a new towel, an old towel, degreaser, whatever brand, and a little bit of shining product. I need a lot more time. Okay. Oh, that's not good. It's taking off the paint. Okay, maybe not a degreaser. Guess we know what we're using for the 86. That takes us to the Old Faithful. We'll just Windex it. There's no need, and it's probably cheaper. There's no need for paint removal on this. Just keep folding it. You'll have a new towel every time you fold it. That's pretty much it. We're not gonna do any more. What do they call it? 80-20 rule. Basically, this is like the threshold where you can do 80% of the work or 80% of the cleaning or superficial cleaning with 20% of the work. If you guys want to get the other 20% clean, you have to do 80% more work. So we could have, this is a daily, my wife's daily. As long as the motor runs, drives, she'll be fine. She's never going to be opening the hood for anybody else. You guys are probably the only people that are going to see it forever. So yeah, that's it. And speaking of Honda engines, this leads us to our next one. The new addition to the club. We have a Stand Stout 2000 and something, I forget exactly which one, but it's got the good motor. It's an Acura TSX. You guys can tell someone had a little too much fun with it, and we had to go pick her up and remove her from her misery. And this is where the battery came out of. So if you guys, that's why it was dead. The guy put a fresh battery in it, then crashed. So we have a fresh battery in there. This motor is pristine, actually. So it's a TSX. I can't remember if it's an 06 or 7 or something, but it's the one with the good boy, the one with the K24 A2 motor. Huh. Yeah, somebody really did a number on this. Oh, my trailer. That's not good. You know what? We're gonna unload this thing, then I'll show it to you because my trailer is getting beat up right now. So let's do that first. Okay guys, so quickly before we get too far ahead of ourselves, we're going to be working on this thing, but I don't really sit down and talk to you guys much and explain to you a lot of the reasoning behind things like that, so that's what we're going to do right now. I'm going to try and get better at the storytelling part because I realize that I know what I'm trying to accomplish, but you guys sometimes don't know what I'm trying to accomplish, and then I do like impulsive things and kind of go on like a little rogue thing, like the fuel cell thing and a lot of random little stuff. With that being said, the idea of this car is a fun track car or street car, but not like over the top, not stupid fast, not crazy slow either, just enough to get up, go, have some fun, maybe beat some track laps or I don't know, stuff like that. But at the same time, we're gonna try and make it to where it looks pretty, it looks the part, and it's a solid build. We don't want to half-ass anything. So I'm actually, you guys will see, but we're in the middle of redoing the back of the car because I realized after cutting into it that cutting away a lot of the OEM paneling was probably not a smart move, but it's done. What is done is done. So we can only better it, and so I want the quality of this build to escalate. So you guys will notice a change in a lot of the way we're doing things. We're gonna start buying a little bit better quality parts, just because I came to realize that. So the thing is, at first I wasn't in love with the 86 because I've never had an 86. I never, like, you just see him in the movies, and then I bought this one as like a crap car. So to me, they were kind of crappy. I'll be honest. They're old 1986 Corolla, and like everything squeaks, pops, like the door is like falling. You guys got to understand, like this has not been a prime car. This is nothing that I would always dream about as a young kid. But the more I'm working on it, the more I am starting to fall in love with it. With that being said, we're going to escalate the build a little bit more than what we planned to do originally. We have to clean this nasty bay that you guys remember. There's a big debate, and we're gonna settle this now. A lot of people swear on oven cleaner from the dollar store to do engine bay cleanups. I like degreasers. We're gonna do half and half and hope the results are worth it. Otherwise, I've been spending my money on degreasers, and I could have just bought $1 and some change, because they're not even $1 anymore, so $1 and some change for a degreaser. And yeah, you guys be the judge. Let's hop into this thing. First step I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna wet the floor, because not the engine, the floor, because the floor will definitely get greasy if I don't, and this will kind of create a little barrier between the grease and the floor. That way we don't trash concrete floor. You guys know I'm a stickler for cleaning, and we're gonna give this a bit of a fighting chance. So we're going to put the degreaser on, or the oven cleaner, which I'll be honest, I don't believe in it too much. I'll put it on this easier side, then I'll do some degreaser there, and then I'll finish off a little bit of oven cleaner here, just so that it has a bit of a, you know, this is a little bit rougher than that, so hopefully it'll be able to take care of this, and it might do that, and I think the degreaser will do just fine there. So let's see what happens. I will also be applying them at the same time so that time is not the biggest issue for you guys. Try and do this at the same time. Okay, nice and wet. And then here, put a whole bunch on it. And then do some here. Don't breathe it in. not the best. Not very tasty. Okay, she's going. And give her a little more there. Wow, yeah, look at that. The degreaser doesn't really fail me. We'll just let it do its thing. Okay, so this says on here, it says to wait 2 hours. I don't know if we can wait 2 hours. So we're gonna give it like 5 to 10 minutes and then we'll come back. Okay, it's been about 5 minutes now. The foam is not coming off. I mean, some of it fell, but not everything. We're gonna do this with a basic hose just because most people just have basic hoses at home. But first I'm gonna get the floor wet. You don't want any of that grease getting stuck. I'm gonna wash this thoroughly afterwards, of course. All right, we're gonna put this on shower, so it's a gentle way of taking it off. And I think that would be the most fair, because if we start putting pressure on it, then it'll kind of take off the dirt for it and not exactly show its work. And this is, of course, with no scrubbing involved. So let's do that. Okay, so right off the rip, you guys can tell it's taken off the paint. You guys can see that. It is literally taken off the paint. This is the degreaser, of course. Here, we didn't do any rubbing, and this was actually cleaner than over here. And it didn't do very well. This is the oven cleaner. The oven cleaner didn't do as good at removing it, but the paint's coming off as well. It's probably just because it's an old paint job. But I don't know, you guys be the judge. This is oven cleaner, which did a lot better than I thought it would. Oven cleaner versus degreaser. Yeah, since I bought a ton of oven cleaner, I bought like 4 spray cans. I had a lot of faith in it. I'm gonna just first go to town in oven cleaner and then come back since I'm already using oven cleaner. Yeah, let's do it. I'll set you guys on a time lapse. Enjoy. Okay, so we pretty much got it to where the degreaser, or no, to where the oven cleaner can do the most. It did really, really well. I was not expecting the oven cleaner to do such a good job. I was not a believer. I am a believer now, but I still think the degreaser is better. Now, for $1.25 per can, I don't think you can beat it, but there was no scrubbing involved either, so it could even be better if you probably did a little bit of scrubbing, but the bottle clearly says no scrubbing required. But yeah, let me show you guys what it ended up doing. After this, the degreaser is going to take over, and I'm pretty sure it's just going to knock it out of the park. I think there's nothing like a high quality degreaser. And I got the extreme one, if you guys are familiar. I got the old purple cleaner, or purple power cleaner, and I got the extreme one, so it's even stronger. But here is the here's the final result, and this probably looks whiter than it really is because of the glare and all this lighting out here. You guys can tell, like, it did really well here. All back here wasn't too good. It was really caked on there, and for just oven cleaner, it killed it. All those cheap fumes are like strong. I don't know how good they are for your lungs, so you should definitely wear a respirator. But yeah, we're gonna continue doing this with the degreaser now, and look how badass the degreaser does. Less than a minute, dirt, the grease, the grime, everything, it's just falling off, especially like here. I'm just gonna, and this is no scrubbing. I have not scrubbed any product yet at all. But look, degreaser, it just cakes off. It does such a good job. I'll go with a degreaser any day. get the job done on the first try. You know what I mean? We are back in the shop now. You guys can tell we have finally got the roof finished. It pretty much patched up all of the spots that were needed to be filled up. And so now it is essentially ready for paint. We're gonna go and add a nice little layer of paint here. I'm pretty sure we're just gonna go with your basic white, add some clarity in here. Now I'm gonna show you guys what you guys have been waiting for this whole video. Sorry for keeping you waiting, but you guys know how YouTube works. I present to you guys the donor. It is a Acura TSX. It had some Stancy Boy wheels on it. Pretty sure they were reps because the fronts were demolished. The other one that was on this side or that side, I believe it's that side, completely broke. And this side we unbolted it just for easier in and out because the arms underneath the car are all tore up, so the steering doesn't even do anything. So this is the donor. You guys can tell it has the infamous K24, but not just any K24. It's the K24 A2, and this is the this is the big boy. This is the one you want if you want to be able to get to 500 horses reliably without doing tons and tons of work. I'm not gonna want to push this thing way too far. I'll probably stick to like 300 and call it a day, since this thing is really light. We don't need anything but maybe 250 to 300. 300's on the higher side, so we'd probably stick to 250, and she should be more than enough ready for anything. The actual structure is fine. None of this was touched. It literally got hit on the wheel and the fender. Nothing else got touched on this side either. I'm kind of leaning on the side of doing a turbo setup because I kind of want to do some of the plumbing. So like, I don't know, all the exhaust work, I feel like it'd make good practice welding, or welding practice backwards. So yeah, let me know what you guys think would be the best option for the 86. I don't know. I'm torn between both ideas, just because turbo also requires more funds, 2, more maintenance. I don't know yet. More possibilities of things going wrong, essentially. So we got to see what we do in terms of that. But this bad boy should be getting removed out of here soon. We're not gonna put it in yet. First, we got to prepare this car for the transplant. Wow, this thing looks 10 times better already. Obviously, it's not this white in here yet, but the idea was washing it first to get most of it off. It is dried up now. Then we'll get into removing all of these accessories so that we can further clean it. But the idea was to remove it kind of clean so that you don't get your hands too dirty. I know it sounds dumb, but it makes sense in my head. Let me tear this whole thing apart. We'll see how this goes. We're marking the ones that we know we're probably going to use for sure again. The others we're going to probably try and clean them off and avoid like having unnecessary holes. Like these little high spots here, the welding points and little things like that. We're going to try and flatten these surfaces and make them a little bit more appealing to the eye, essentially. The main reason we're painting the engine bay is because I don't want to be like Mr. James Pumphrey and then have a badass motor in my car and then have a hideous engine bay. I mean, his is a lot better than mine is now, of course, but still, he might as well have painted it, I think. At that point, he was like, everything was out of the car. Windshield wipers. have been on here for a while. Ooh. Seems like this is gonna take a while. This is what a Great Dane with zoomies looks like. I'm gonna get you. There's no way I'm catching her. She knows that even if she gets real close, I can't catch her. She's like really quick. This is why we can afford to have more weight in the front, because we are doing with other extra weight. When you're racing, you turn off the AC anyway, so who needs that? Alright guys, so we're gonna call it quits there for today. We didn't exactly get as far as we wanted to, just because, to be honest, the whole week we haven't been able to work in the shop. We've been getting this drywall done, the finishing touches, and it's been a little excessive. I know it should have been faster than that, but the guy lost his job, and so we wanted to help somebody out. And so, long story short, it took him a minute because it was a one-man job, but he got it done. And it's looking pretty good, so we're gonna just paint that out. Over here we got pretty far. Heater core lines, just random stuff. There was a motor mount still on there. Took off the little, so cleaned it out somewhat, and a lot of this exposed a lot more rust, but for the most part it's surface rust. We can definitely bring it down, a lot of this stuff. We're gonna try and look for pieces that we can new. The biggest obstacle we've been having is that you can't really find parts for these cars new, and if you do, they're asking for like an arm and a leg, and yeah, that'd be amazing, but sometimes that's not exactly feasible if you want to, you know, do this long term. So because we're trying to do this a smart way, we're gonna try and restore the parts that we can restore. Things like this, you know, the hood, what do you call it? Hood strut? Hood stand? I don't know. It's a little rough on the edge, not too bad. Should be able to come back, but little things like that is what I mean. If you guys see something that obviously cannot be replaced, or you know that I'm missing, because a lot of you guys know more about these cars than I do, hit me up. Now with work, we happen to have enough employees, so I've been able to have a little more free time as of this week now. So what we're going to be doing is, hopefully, cross your fingers, uploading twice a week, and hopefully get the ball rolling faster on this thing, and so that we can have a little bit more progress and get this blue TSX out of the way, because it's kind of just taking up room now, precious room, since we don't have a big shop in here. Now that all these big YouTubers are starting to pump out 86s, because all of a sudden, I guess, it became a thing. Long story short, I gotta compete with people that got like unlimited funds. And I'm not saying compete, I'm not saying, you know, I'm gonna compare my car to theirs, because obviously they have professional mechanics doing a lot of their work. But for a small man in his home shop, we're gonna do one hell of a build, okay? That's all I'm gonna say. You guys will be the judge. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for subscribing. Hopefully I could get ideas across better. I need to do better at talking to you guys and not assume that you guys know everything in my head. I know I'm a little crazy, so yeah. With that being said, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for subscribing. If you guys liked the video and if you made it this far, leave a nice like, and that'll be all. Thank you guys, and we'll see you guys next time.
Are you taking 2 vivid pictures?